introduce to the stage Leon Logothetis, who is our featured presenter, storyteller of the night. Thank you so much, Leon, for coming finally.
Hello, how are you? Okay. Thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor to be here and to get the chance to share my story with you. I just want to start with a simple question, and that is, when was the last time you felt truly seen, truly heard? When was the last time you felt truly connected? And I ask that question because if I didn't feel a deep, deep sense of disconnection, I wouldn't be standing here today. I wouldn't be able to share my story. And I've traveled around the world, and I found that one thing in common is that we all just want to be seen. We all just want to be seen. So we live in this rather interesting world with iPhones and iPads and iPods and i-everythings. And we think we're connected. And we are, in so many ways. Yet we are also chronically disconnected. I've had to ban myself from my iPhone because all I do is sit on that little contraption, Facebook, Twitter, and all the other things we do, instead of truly connecting. Just before I got on stage, about 45 minutes before I got on stage, I saw this girl, and she had a lovely vibe, she had a lovely energy about her. And I went up to her, and I said, "You have a lovely energy." And she looked at me, and she said, "Thank you for seeing me." I was like blown away. Thank you for seeing me. So why am I here? I was very depressed, very disconnected. Used to be a broker in the city of London. 9 to 9, 12-hour days, sitting behind a desk, uninspired, no sense of purpose, living someone else's life. Very, very disconnected. And one day, I saw the movie, The Motorcycle Diaries. Who's seen that movie? Okay, lots of you. Okay, for those of you who haven't, it's about Che Guevara traveling around South America, relying entirely on the kindness of strangers. And there was something in that moment that sparked a shift. I realized that if he could live this way, which to me is adventure, freedom, connection, fun, purpose, then why couldn't I? Why can't you? Why can't we all do what our heart desires? Why not? Conditioning, fear. We all know the reasons why we can't do it. But every single one of us in this room and beyond can go out and live the life of their dreams. I'm not saying it's easy. You have to commit to yourself. But every one of us can do it. Every single one of us. That's me. About to start living my dreams. Basically, what I decided to do was to quit my job and start traveling the world. I purchased a vintage yellow motorbike with a sidecar, and I called it Kindness One, sort of like Air Force One, but a little bit kinder. Yellower, not kinder. And I was going to go from LA all the way around the world back to LA. No money, no food, no gas, nothing. Simply relying on the connection of other human beings. It sounded like a good idea when I thought of it, but maybe not so much when I did it. So I want to tell you a story of a chap who truly changed my life. I was in Pittsburgh, and I had to find a place to stay. I had no money, no food, no nothing. And I went up to this guy and I said to him, "Can I stay in your house tonight?" And yeah, most people laughed at me. And he turns around to me and he says, "I'm really sorry, but I'm homeless." So in that moment, I felt a bit of shame. I'm doing a social experiment and this chap has nothing. But then he turns around to me and he says, "But if you want, you can stay with me tonight. I'll feed you, I'll protect you. I'll feed you and I'll protect you." And I thought to myself, my mind was like, "No, you're not sleeping on the streets of Pittsburgh tonight." But my heart was like, "Yes, you are." So I spent the night on the streets of Pittsburgh with Tony. And here was a man who had on the outside nothing. Yet here was a man that on the inside had everything. Prior to leaving my job, on the outside, I had everything. On the inside, I had nothing. Tony taught me that true wealth is not in our wallets, but it's in our hearts. Tony taught me not to see with my eyes, but to see with my heart. So one thing I didn't mention was that when I was doing my journey, it wasn't just me relying on kindness, it was me giving back as well. Because kindness is a two-way street. So I would give back on my journey. And to Tony, I had the honor and the pleasure of being able to put him up in an apartment and send him back to school. He wanted to be a chef. His brother was a chef. But he always used to say, I still stay in touch with him, and he says to me, "Leon, you changed my life." And I say, "Tony, my friend, it is you who changed my life." It took a homeless man in Pittsburgh to show me the power of coming from your heart. The power of seeing with your heart. The power of connecting with your heart. A man with nothing, yet here was a man with everything. When I see you, my heart smiles. Truly, this slide is just here because I like it. It's like, when I see you, my heart smiles. It makes us like smile, right? It's all hunky-dory. So I do some speeches at schools, and I remember very clearly, I was 16 years old. I was very depressed. I was being bullied, in a lot of pain, and I wasn't sharing it with anyone. And this lady came to our school, and she started talking about her son. Her son was killed in Somalia in 1993, yet the speech was not about his death. The speech was about his life. The speech was about how he went out and changed the world. The speech was about how he went out and inspired people. The speech was about how he went out and lived his life. His life. I never forgot that speech. I never forgot that speech. Something, and I'm sure you guys can all relate, something sometimes gets sparked in us, turned on. Maybe it takes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years for us to fully step into our own greatness. But it was in that moment that I realized there was so much more. And this is such a beautiful space. Like, there's madness going on out there in the world. Madness. You turn CNN on, madness. Fox News, madness. Yet right in this room, right here, there's a beautiful energy. There's a vibe, there's a love, there's a kindness. Well, yet out there, it's just craziness. It's madness. Okay. So when I give my speeches at these schools, I ask the kids, I say, "Who are your heroes?" And they're like, "Oh, LeBron James, Taylor Swift." Then I ask them who the best baseball player is, and some guy called Trout. They keep telling me, "Do you know, anyone know a guy called Trout, a baseball player called Trout?" I don't know who the hell he is, but anyway, sounds like a fisherman to me, but whatever. They seem to like him. And then I tell them a story about this chap, a doctor in Vietnam who spends every single working moment giving back to people. every single working moment, he helps people with cataract surgery. And you think to yourself, in America, cataract surgery is pretty simple, you know, for most of us. If you have cataracts, you just get surgery. And this chap, every single day of his life, gives back. All it costs is $30. $30 to get cataract surgery in Vietnam. Yet thousands of people don't have the money to do that. That's not me, because I don't have any hair. But I only have 5 minutes left, so I've got to hurry up. I'm going to show you guys a video, but basically, let's show the video. This is my journey.